Good morning. Well, good morning, everybody. And in a second, I'm going to bring Daz in. So good morning to everybody. Welcome from me, Dick Wade, here in very, very sunny Newcastle. In fact, it's so nice today on the 20th of April, this Saturday morning. I'm seriously tempted of going down the beach and diving in the sea. And I know Daz has just done exactly that this morning. You know, Daz is a big wild swimmer. So without further ado, let's bring in my friend Darren Sutton. Daz, how are you doing? Are you keeping well?
I'm keeping very well, thanks, Dick. And I'd love to tell you that I've just been for a swim in Northumberland, but no, I'm just out of the Mediterranean. I'm over in a swimming camp thing in Mallorca just now.
Sorry, for a moment, I thought you said you were in Mallorca.
I am, as you can.
Right, that's it. You're gone. You're out of there, mate. Finished. I'm going to continue with let's bring you back in. We're in a good mood today. No, that's really good, mate. Well, thanks. Seriously, thanks for giving a bit of your holiday time. Well, good to see you, mate. So what we're doing today, then, Daz, we're going to do our little wash up, aren't we? To tell everybody, we've got people logging in already. So what I'm going to do before we actually go into this, Daz, let me just bring something up on the screen so people know what they can do and how they can interact with us as we go along. So, if people have any comments or anything they want to add, those that are now watching live on the Facebook page can actually type into the Facebook bit and it will appear live on the screen, and we can stream them in and answer any questions as we go. But I guess, let's take that off. So we were just going to do a really unscripted, straightforward. We went to Coventry. How was the planning? How was the preparation? How did it go? And then talk about the plans for 2026 and take it from there, really. So Daz, I was wondering, would you like to kickstart the proceedings on, first before we do that, give us your overall opinion. How did it go for you?
Okay. Well, first of all, how it went for me was the first big positive for me was to see everybody there, despite all the challenges of ill health and rail strikes and so on. To walk in on Friday afternoon, even Dick, and see all those people there, all those familiar faces, and not only there, but smiling and having a great time. So that was my first positive. The second positive was, and I really mean this, is to have you alongside me. I knew that whatever went wrong, that you'd catch it before it went wrong. So that was easy life for me. And those were two huge positives. The other massive thing for me, which you and I have discussed throughout the whole weekend, was the attitude of the staff. We were worried about the staff. We were mainly worried about the quantity of the staff. How many bar staff, how many servers, because we knew that had plagued us in the past. But not only were there plenty enough staff, which was marvelous, especially for the price we paid, they were all so brilliant.
On the ball, man. And I just want to, if I can just jump in here, Daz, because so people may or may not be aware, you and I went down to the hotel, didn't we? And we met with Elka, and we had our concerns, not that they were doing anything wrong, but you've hit it on the head. Now, I haven't been to one of these dudes for a long time, but I was aware that historically there might have been some issues with people waiting at the bar, and dinner was slow, and the dinner was cold, and the dinner wasn't cooked properly. So, quite rightly so, you and I effectively, if there'd have been issues like that, people would have been directing them at it. So we were right to have those concerns. I'll tell you what I loved, though, and it surprised them. I remember the look up. What was the fellow? Was it Abu or Abo or something? What was the guy called?
Abu.
Yeah. When you did the military time-honored military tradition of saying thank you to the staff, and it was like, whoa! I'm not sure they'd ever experienced that before, but that kind of lifted them up, and I think it gave them a real, because they'd worked so hard in the build-up. all through that day and before, and it kind of lifted them, and you could physically see them like, yeah, we're doing a good job here, and they went out of the way, and awesome, man.
They cared. They really cared, and I'd love to think it was something to do with that. The big thank you that we gave right at the start of the dinner, but the truth is, Richard, Dick, the staff were like that throughout the whole weekend, from the moment we arrived until the moment we left. And I can think of Claire and Emma. They really did care, and you can't pay for that. You can't buy that.
You can't. Yeah, it's so true. And there's a little thing that really struck me, and this was one of the touching moments for me, was right at the start when Gloria came up to me. I think it was was it on the Friday? It was on the Friday, and she came up to me, and she had in her hand like a selection of goodies, and I was thinking, oh, I wonder what's those. And she went, "Can I have a little quiet word?" I went, yeah, no problem at all. Now, I'd never met Gloria. Well, actually, I may have met 10, 15 years ago at a function of some, but we don't know each other. We wouldn't ever recall having ever spoken together. So she said, I've got a couple of bits, and I don't want to impose, or do you think you and Darren would mind? And she gave me that big banner and a flag and those little these. I don't know how these ended up in my bag. I've no idea. Someone must have put them in there, by mistake. So anyway, a load of these things. And she genuinely said, but I don't want to impose. And I said, you are not imposing. That is one of the nicest things. But it ties in with what you're talking about, Daz, with the staff. I took the flag and the banner, and I went to see Elka, and I went, any chance we can get this flag on that flagpole and this banner? She went, 2 minutes, Alex. In comes Alex, the maintenance man, and he made me laugh because I said to him, I said, look, the banner, if that could go above the door, please, and the flag, if we can have it in the middle flagpole. He went, there's 4. I went, good point, well presented. Which made me laugh, to be honest with you. But within 30 seconds, up they went, boom,
And we're not. This is not just a big pat on the back session for everybody, not just for Dick and myself and everybody else that was involved in the weekend. The standard bearers, the staff. One of our main purposes of this get together is to find out things we can improve. Maybe some things we can stop. You didn't like that, don't do that again, and even some new ideas from you that we can introduce for our next event in 2 years' time as well. Another, while we're on this subject though, Dick, is it was great to see Gloria, and again the evidence that she cared still, obviously just because of Mick, but all those, as you say, the banner, the flag, the little, she was part of that event for the 20, 30 years that Mick was, and it was great to have her there. So too Norma. We both had a really lovely email from Norma, and it was great to see Carol. I didn't have a chance to say hello to Carol, Carol Shave, but she was nice. She was well hosted by all you drainers, I think.
Well, she was, and it was really great because it's traditional that all the drain sniffers, or those that aren't in prison, all the drain sniffers who are available, those that are not incarcerated or have tags on that prevents them from going out after 5 o'clock, they all, as always, got together. We all gathered around, and Carol came on the photograph with us, so she's in the 2024 Reunited drain sniffing photograph, which is really nice to see, because John Shave, ex-drain sniffer, core stalwart, really, really lovely guy, very, very popular fella. Such a shame, but.
And I'd love to see that continue, Dick. That's why I mentioned it. I'd love to see that continue because it's so valuable as well. We're a tight-knit community. We know each other's families, etc. And I'd really like to see that continue, of wives coming, even when their partners have passed. Moving swiftly on, though, and this is live. We haven't rehearsed it at all.
No, it's as it is.
Dick and I have talked about the event sort of 24 hours, 36 hours afterwards, all the things that we might do differently next time, all the things we do the same, but we haven't actually rehearsed this. So, but just an improve for me. I think and this was me, this was all on me, I over-egged the entertainment a little bit. Having taken away the raffle, which we may well talk about in this session or the future, I was worried about having a flat period or whatever. So by booking a disco, the singers, Bernie, which was it's great to have Bernie there, one of our own, and Teo. That was a bit of an unknown for me. Teo reached out and sort of volunteered her services, and she was just outstanding. Awesome. What would I do differently next time? I think I'd just have Teo and a really good band. I don't think we need a DJ. I don't know, maybe Bernie wants to do a little stint again next year, I don't know. But I definitely over-egged on the entertainment there. We paid for too much there. So that was a learning point for me.
Yeah, and as you quite rightly said, we were both fresh into this. None of us have been involved in it in any way, shape, or form. So very much you and I dipping our toes in the water. So yeah, we as you said, we've had our chats afterwards, and we know whatever form it moves into, we know we can really wow the show next time. We know we've got some good ideas that we'll share with people. But all in all, I think you're right. It went well, and yeah, it was good. But people enjoyed it. That's the main thing.
Give us some, those of you that are tuning in live here, give us some stops. Darren, Dick, don't do that again. We didn't like that bit. Take that bit away. Or even some starts as well. Here's an idea. Why don't you try this? We had some great ideas at the AGM. Some of them we can definitely include and we'll share with you. Some of them perhaps going to be more difficult to include, and we'll share with you the reasons why that might be as well. So, okay, where are we going next, then, Dick?
Well, I was going to mention. So that's a comment from Facebook. So whoever that is, Facebook user, thank you very much. I think it's worth mentioning. We've had some excellent feedback, and we are extremely grateful for that. Daz and I really do appreciate the feedback and the constructive criticism as well. Let's not miss that out, where people have made suggestions about what about this, what about that. There were a couple of notable suggestions which we really are all over now. So Dad's like the Saturday morning where we all went downstairs into that AGM. I think there were 76 people turned up to that. I was over the moon with that. Honestly thought it was going to be me, you, and a telly, and the cleaner coming in saying, "Your time's up, get out." But it wasn't. So I was over the moon that 76 came up. But not only came up, interacted. We had banter. There was a good laugh in there as well. There was a bit of Mickey taking, which we'd expect. And one of the things that came out from that little discussion, and then later in the bar, was that's fine. Now, while we're all sitting around talking for that hour or so, now what about our wives and girlfriends and good ladies? Let's bring in another comment. So that's something we're considering. So another Facebook user put in future, should we not use core funds to help subsidise airfares for former comments or unfortunate enough to live abroad? That must be awful. So the Florida mob.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Or even I was really surprised 2 or 3 people trying to get from Alnies. 1 or 2 did actually get here, but what a commitment there to get from the Alnies.
Absolutely brilliant. And what I can tell you is, yesterday I was on an online meeting with a very good friend of ours who lives in New Zealand now, and there are 3 people considering coming to the 2026 event from New Zealand. And I'm not going to name them because they might not have told the wives yet.
There's a North Cyprus. I don't know if that's Rhino, and it'll be great to have you at the event, Rhino.
Yeah.
If you tune in there, I know there's lots of people live in Cyprus. It might not be Rhino.
I think before we move on to, I want to show a couple of pictures actually, because to me the following pictures bring home a number of things. And then we'll talk about what we're thinking about for 2024. But let me take that off for starters, and I just want to bring in this. So, actually, before I put that on, wait, stop. What a lot of people don't know is well, maybe a lot do, but you know, you and I, we first met in 1982 in September time, something like that. We both joined the Army Apprentice College, and then we played basketball. What a lot of people don't know, and that's why I'm going to bring this picture in, Dad, so bear with me. That at the start of the dinner, did anyone, no one could hear what you were saying, but just so everyone's aware, Dad was saying, Dick, did I ever thank you for teaching me how to play basketball as good as you did? And so I just wanted people to be to be aware of what that picture is all about. But
that's
of
right,
course,
yeah. And it is Rhino as well, and you know, well, another great thing that for me, Rhino, great to see you, great to hear from you. I love that chat we had over lockdown, and you know, one of the things that Dick and I were really delighted was all the core legends. Yeah, you just look at the guest list, you just see the names jump out of the sheet there. We know there's some core legends of our era. You know, those of us that are still in our 50s and early 60s, let's say. There's people in the 70s and 80s that come to the dinner, have done for the last 20, 30 years ago or so. And it's just great to have them there and keep on coming. Yeah. But there are others. Rhino, you are definitely one of them. Yeah, exactly. Harry Horwell. You know, it's wrong to name names, but let's get more people here. The venue that it looks likely we're going to choose for 2026.
Well, let's talk about that now.
350 plus we can get there. So yeah, so yeah, where are we going next? Any others?
No, no, I'm watching that on the right. So let's talk about venue for 26. And so at the little AGM type meeting that we had, we discussed, you know, so where shall we have it? What shall we do? There were one or two people suggested north of the border. I think there was one or two suggested Midlands again, and then a couple for Devony type area. So we might as well put it straight out there that following various discussions and emails that we've had from a number of people, I think, you know, is it fair to say we might be foolish to move it from that venue that we've just had? It's central. It's easy to get to when the train strikes, but even with the train strikes, everybody got there. Even those who were, you know, we ended up, there was car shares taking place and all that kind of stuff happened. So that venue, I personally, I think we'd be crazy to move it from there, given that they know us. We know we've got the trust, the staff trust is there. They get what we're all about as a group of people, and I think we'd probably be a bit silly. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, Daz, regarding moving.
Yeah, it is something that you and I discussed, and with others as well, taking their feedback. Despite, as well as all the things you just said there, and all the other positives there. One of the things that I was so impressed about was for those people that weren't able to show up for whatever reason, travel, last change in plans, ill health, etc. Even those right at the last minute, and even those that didn't even cancel, they just didn't show up. And there were 6 or 8 of people like that.
Yeah, there's a few of those. Yeah,
that had booked, they hadn't paid, but the hotel, their attitude towards that was just first class. Okay, we understand. We're not going to ask for the money. They even refunded people money who cancelled less than 24 hours.
It's good.
Now, again, you can't buy that. You can't legislate for that. Yeah. And even other Britannia hotels within the chain, I don't think would have been so reasonable as them. So, you can get everybody. We're pretty reluctant.
I think so. And I think, you know, at the end of the day, that kind of is the decision, is it? There needs to be a real compelling argument, because it's what suits the masses. That suits the masses. You've got train links, you've got an airport. The other thing that I noticed, that there was a big group of people in the daytime, the Saturday daytime, and we're going to probably outside of this meeting, but so people are aware that you and I are going to potentially discuss other little activities that we can add to maybe Saturday and possibly Sunday morning. But what a lot of people did, and this is probably a compelling argument for the location, is went off to the National Memorial Arboretum, and it's round the corner, and what a wonderful place to go. You know, particularly there's a Mick McCran bench there and all that kind of stuff, which again is fitting for what we're doing. So, yeah, that location, mate, absolutely bang on the money.
And to be honest, I'm a Leicester lad. I haven't lived in Leicester. Dick's a Derby, aren't you?
Nottingham.
Dick? Nottingham. I always get that wrong. Sorry. Look at his face there. I say Derby on purpose. But we both live in the northeast now. We both live in the Wales and Northumberland. Yeah. Coventry is a good 5-hour drive for us. And I don't even like Leicester anymore. I don't even like to.
Me neither. Never did.
Yeah. so it would, location-wise, geography-wise, it really wouldn't be our choice at all. They're just so good at what they do, and they seem to tick all the boxes. Let us know if you know different. Let us know if there's something there that you really don't like Coventry, or something that needs to be improved. Please let us know, and we'll feed that back to the hotel.
Great. So then the other thing that's really key now, but people have got loads of time to plan, is the date. Now, we discussed this at the AGM, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think the general consensus was we're going to look at March 2026.
Well, the consensus was we're going to stick to April rather than February, but then deconflict with Easter. Funny enough, in 2026, Easter weekend falls on exactly the weekend that we've just had in 2024. Right, so that's 6th to 8th of April, or whatever it is. Yeah. So to deconflict with Easter, we could either go later into April, which of course would sort of go into the May bank holiday, and Easter holidays.
School holidays.
So we chose to go 2 weeks before to avoid the school holidays and the clash with Easter. So I think we're looking at the 19th, 20th, 21st of March there.
Yeah, I think that was about right. But again, we can look at that. And then I think it's probably worth mentioning communications to people. We will change the name of the Facebook group. We can't yet. You're only allowed to change it once every 28 days, but we will change that shortly. I've set a diary note that I'll be alerted when I can change that. So we'll get onto that. And then again, we discussed this. We can make the process slicker, can't we? Next time, with regards to we've already discussed. Maybe we'll get total control of the data, and we'll share it with the hotel where we're allowed to, with GDPR compliance, obviously. So that, and then we can identify those people who don't use Facebook, because there are some, and we're going to make it easy for people to book in other ways, and also for some of those that really require it, we'll even communicate via a letter if we really have to. But I think it's worth caveating that there's not many people in this world now, I don't care if they're 100 or 80, 90, 70, who haven't got an email address, because the world works electronically now. It's very, very rare that people haven't got an email address, but we're gonna make it inclusive when so we'll go.
But that's certainly something that I could do better this cycle. We've relied heavily on the Facebook group. It's great that we've got 600 or 700, 800 members now. But I'm very aware that there's a good 30, 50 or so people that are not on Facebook. They don't do social media. We did send out 3 or 4 emails over that sort of 18-month period. I need to do more of that next time to embrace those people, and technology's got better in that area. So
yeah, you're right, and we'll be able to identify with other people's help that who do you know, not you, but to the group, who do you know who hasn't got access to this media? Get their details to us, and we'll include them, whether that's a text or a WhatsApp or even a good old-fashioned letter. Might even write one myself. I haven't written a letter for about 35 years. See if I can still do it.
Dick, as well, another thing while we're on the things that I could do better, and this was me that drove this. I'm going to take the hit for this. The seating plan was emotive. We always knew it would be emotive. You and I had a discussion of let's just let people sit where they want to sit. Let's get a bit more organised than that. Well, okay, we can have a seating plan up and people put their names on when they arrive. I wanted to get better organised than that. I wanted people to know, at least a couple of days before, if not a week or so before they came to them, what table they'll be sitting at, who they're going to be sitting with. Of course, that sort of changed dramatically, even though we set plans in place, but with the rail strike and people having to pull out, that changed things significantly in the last week. my rationale behind trying to get it planned, because there were 2 or 3 of you that did flag that up. Why bother? Why go through the hassle? It's so emotive, people get upset, and we understood that. What I didn't want to happen is we certainly in the regiments I serve with, the seating plan goes up, and all of a sudden people don't like where they're sat, and then they start crossing names out and moving people around, and messing around with stuff, and that's unfair. I can remember.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know I think we've all experienced that.
And the other thing was, if we put it up on a day, then people get there early, and then people write up names and stuff. They get their table on, and then somebody else arrives, a couple of hours before the dinner. They look at their table and, why the heck am I sat there? Who put me? I didn't want to sit there. And without going into detail, I think you can believe me here. This definitely is a thing. There were at least, well, some of you are very, very popular. There's a good 6 or 8 of you that everybody wanted to sit on the table with you, and it got to the case where it was pretty. Well, it was impossible to keep everybody happy. So then, funnily enough, we went to those 6 or 8 people. Okay, what? who do you want on your table? And funnily enough, it wasn't at all the same sometimes as to where. I cannot betray any confidences there.
But it went okay. I think it went okay in the end. But you're right. It's an emotive subject, and of course, what brings home to me it needs to be organised before the event is the poor servers who are bringing out. So if they don't know until minutes before the dinner that table 8 wants 4 of these, 3 of them, and 1 of them, it can get really confusing. It will slow down service and cause a bit of hassle. Hey, we're only sat down for about an hour and a half.
And it was great to see.
But we'll always do our best. That we'll give it our best shot. So okay, well, what else we got on here then? I haven't really got anything else to chat about. I think if I made that, I do want to bring in a couple of more pictures that bring home to me the night. This, I will treasure this picture for a long time. The 2 in the middle had a fantastic time, as did all of their cohort, the groups that they were with. And it was lovely. She came and she had a brilliant time, and it was just nice to see. That to me was really, really good. And then you've already mentioned them, and quite rightly so. But they set the scene. They set the tone for the night. With Teo doing her song. On my table, no names, no drills. I was watching grown men crying. Yeah. Oh no, it was Jeff McGowan. It was his round. Sorry, I always get that mixed up.
And again, the standard bearers, their attitude. We talked about the attitude of the staff, but their attitude, their professionalism. Because they really, really care. They want to be part of it, and that shows. There's me.
I'll come back to that one. I've got a comment to make about that one in a minute.
No, thank you, John and Ace and other John and 2 or 3 others as well. Sorry, I've forgotten your names there, but really, I'm super impressed. Great to have you next year, next event as well.
Well, I am so hopeful that Teo is able to come along. Just
Teo as well,
not just brilliant, but she was a lovely lady. It was really nice. And those guys and John and his team were just outstanding, and lovely to see Ace. Of course, we got more pensioners. I didn't realise until after the event how many more pensioners we've got, RAMC wise. So maybe that's something else that we can. Again, we're talking about inclusivity, because they're great people to have on. And Ace was he was brilliant, man. What a wonderful chap. And listen, we cannot let this go by, because nobody believes me. I went, no, I saw him at the bar, and they said, well, have you got a picture? I went, look. Yeah.
You are a naughty boy. You are.
The son have been after that. They have been offered 30 grand. I went, well, you better get your bargaining. But I'm only joking.
3 years with the Royal Scots. That's what they told me well. The Scots.
Yeah. Good man. No, it was awesome, and there is one thing to mention, and it brings home the conversation we've had about how receptive the staff were. The beer wasn't working. It was a little bit warm on that. So immediately they said, not a problem. We'll fix that. Go and open that other. All of a sudden we got both bars open and people were able to zip in and out. So that just brought home, yeah, well done, everybody. Good. Right, Daz, I think we, I don't know about you, I'm sure you've got pina coladas or some tapas to go to or something.
Yep, something like that. I've got another course to write before Monday morning. So that's what I'll be. But no, keep the suggestions going. It's great. It's almost embarrassing. Well, it's not embarrassing. The positive comments we love. It does mean an awful lot to us. It's almost like a supercharge, that hand in the back. That makes it all worthwhile. We feel very, very privileged to be able to do this. The trust and support that you've put in us both. Not only to take over from Mick and Mac after 2 decades, but also Jeff and Ray, who really worked hard for 3 or 4 years.
Oh yeah, with the COVID and all that going on. Yeah, too right.
And both Jeff and Ray are, they mean a lot to both Dick and I, mentors of us in younger days. So it's a real privilege for us to take this on, and yeah. I am looking a bit bouffon this morning. I'm just going for a swim, and I was straight out of the shower. So yeah, at least I've got some. That's
well, exactly. Yeah.
Dick, but
well, listen. Well said, Adrian. Said the spelling champion from 1983. Let's not forget before we go. We'll close it in a minute. She's probably with you now, hopefully, but make sure you pass on everyone's thanks, because I don't know if people are aware in the background that your Linda was very active and, helping out, doing loads of stuff, keeping you in check for starters and on the level and all that. So, big up to Linda for well done, and just so everyone knows what's been going on.
Likewise, Dora in the background. I know she's been supportive of you over the last 2 years as well. I know she'll be there in the next week, despite it being a birthday weekend.
Exactly, yeah.
You're telling me about buying the drinks at the bar there, Dick.
Yeah.
That's Dora's birthday.
Your timing is immaculate. She's literally just walked in the door and she'll have heard that now. Now I'm going to have to buy
Dora's
something.
40th birthday weekend in Coventry. Sorry, you are a lucky girl, I tell you.
Go on. All right, then, mate. Shall we bring it to a close, Daz?
I think so. Unless there's any other comments, please interact with us. Give us your suggestions. Hold on, let's have a quick think. Give us some stops. Look, guys, we didn't like that. Don't do that again. Or starts. There's a new idea. We really want to do that. We had some great ideas that we're going to implement already. The coffee morning.
Maybe a trip out or something like that.
Yeah, whilst we're having the AGM, a coffee morning for the ladies. Somebody suggested, I think it was Graham Motley, a drumhead service. That might be a bit tad difficult. That if we're going to do it, let's do it properly.
We'll have a think about it. Absolutely, we'll see if it can be planned in without a doubt.
But yeah, keep your ideas coming in.
I think that's it. The feedback. People, Daz, in my business, I have this little thing that I use called KISS. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. But if you say KISS to most army military people, keep it simple, stupid. But let's just bring it in now. So you use this in a lot of your training and your wonderful online courses in psychology, behavioral psychology, and behavior and all that kind of stuff. So keep, improve, stop, or something else. What's the other one?
Start, improve, start.
So let's chuck that out to the group. What shall we keep? What shall we make better? What shall we stop doing? And what shall we start doing? And it's not all about me and Daz. We'll do the best that we can, but boy, will we listen to input and feedback and suggestions. So just keep them coming, everybody. Really, really.
One final point. Dick, we did have a discussion at the end of how can we spread the word, and we had a good, meaningful discussion about that, how we can get more people and do generations young and old, to come and join us in the future to keep this going. What our aim is to keep this going for another 20 or 30 years. So, yeah, the consensus of opinion really was, look, it's all about word of mouth. If people, that's why we're doing this. That's why we're doing this. If people hear about it, if people hear about the good time that everybody had, then more people will want to come next time. It's the Messiah principle, we call it in psychology. You know, if people's had a good time, they'll go and talk about it, and more people will come and follow. So yeah, that's our idea there.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't want to name names, but you people who joined up with Dick and I, John O'Simon, around, Doc Taylor, Kev Meisel. You know, the people from our intake, it could be great to have.
I think so.
Dean
well, I've had a very good. Dean was coming. Sadly, something popped up family wise, but I've had a suggestion made to me. It was made by Smiler, Graham Smiles, who was sat on our table. And I think it was a good suggestion, because you've got your Facebook group. That's great for certain people. Because, but if you want to spread your demographic, you've got to get on Instagram. So we'll do that, and we can quickly set up an account. And whatever we put on Facebook, we can bang out to Instagram at the same time. So we're listening, and we'll widen our channels. A couple of questions coming in from someone who's literally just joined. So when is the next RAMC Reunited? 2026, very likely to be the third weekend in March, to be confirmed, but for planning purposes, 2026 March is looking very, very likely. And whoever's put this, thank you so much. We, again, thank you. I don't know who that is, but Daz and I very much appreciate all the positive feedback that we've been getting, and it means a lot to us, and it gives us encouragement that what we're doing, whilst not 100% perfect, is along the right lines. And then we'll go out of our way to tweak and make better based on suggestions and what people want us to do. What's this? It's another. Oh, there's another couple coming in now. So ambitious. What about Hard and Grave? Is it? Oh, is that Dutch? Hello, Dutch. Nice to see you, my friend. I haven't seen Dutch for quite some time there, although we have recently linked in on Facebook. Boy.
I like the idea of the carders as well. We mentioned that in the AGM. Somebody's put there all the different trades and carders represented, all the different regiments, PFA, hospitals, headquarters staff. So yeah, really great to see the different carders, theatre techs, dispensers, and health techs. So yeah, let's keep that going.
Yeah, and that is right there. You know, the younger people, and although that one's only come in, we were talking about earlier, we're gonna change our messaging, certainly through social media, so we get everybody basically, which I think is really, really important. Dutch point noted what you said earlier, mate. Thanks for that.
Dave Stewart there as well.
Now Davey Stewart is worth talking about. Dave, so now you're on, and we know we've got his attention. So Dave's just left the service. He's literally just left after joining in 1981. You know, when we joined, he was a brat, and he was my house sergeant. It was a wonderful fella, Dave and Joe, and both his boys, lovely family. And he's just left the army. So Dave, now you got all that time on your hands. We'll see you and Joe at the dinner in 2026. You've got no excuses, loads of time to plan. And he won't even have to spend much money. It's tight as a duck's arse. He won't even have to spend much money. It's dead cheap. So we'll see you there, Dave. Okay. Look forward to that. I think
some other suggestions, Dick, Dick and I did discuss this year, and maybe we'll discuss in future years. We did think about a guest speaker. We had a few ideas there. Everybody from Jonathan Van Tam to Billy Billingham to Prey, the officer that's just been across the Antarctic. I think I forget her name.
Preet.
Preet, that's right. Yeah. Yes, or a guest of honour as well. I mean, there were loads of senior officers there. You wouldn't even notice them.
Well, that was the beauty.
Yeah, exactly.
It was the mix. Yeah, no one stood up. I'm the brigadier, and I'm going to give you a speech about my thoughts on how the medical corps should be run.
And that doesn't happen. It's never been part of the event, so that's great.
No.
But if you do have an idea of a guest of honour or a guest speaker, obviously military related, then it would just be 15-20 minutes max, not even that sometimes. So yeah, that's something we might be thinking of. I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen. We dismissed it this year. We didn't think it was a great idea.
Yeah, you're right though. It's worth having in the mix. And you know, there were again a couple of suggestions for this year, although they did come in rather late. And again, it was our first time, so you know, you and I were not on eggshells, but we didn't really want to rock the boat in any way, shape, or form. But there were suggestions about having people in to do a talk, perhaps on the Saturday morning, in a similar vein to the coffee morning, about the state of whatever the military they call, you know, whatever's, because that's all changing after. So yeah, so there'll be stuff to talk about, and that again we can consider that, can't we? And see how it goes. All right, Daz, we've been on for 41 minutes, 13 seconds. I think everyone's probably had enough of us now on a Saturday morning. We'll let Davey Stewart go back to bed and count his money now that he's got his army pension. Someone's just put excellent evening. I'm not too sure if they're talking about the dinner or what they're getting up to tonight.
I don't know.
Yeah, but listen, everyone, it's been thanks. There's been loads of people in and out watching. It's really good. It will stay on the Facebook page until, you know, forever. So that's absolutely great. Daz, thank you for your time popping in from abroad. We appreciate everyone's input. Let's get loads of feedback, and we're out of here. Bye, everybody.